renovated as part of the smaller project. We're in again. Okay, congratulations.
In recognition of the service that so many Juniatians provide to the world around us, the Alumni Association added the William E. Swigart Jr. Alumni Humanitarian Award in 2001. This honor recognizes someone who, through vocation or avocation, has exercised significant leadership and through personal sacrifice has improved the lives of others. The recipient of the 2018 William E. Swigart Jr. Humanitarian Award is Jean Davies Ewers, class of 1961. Deb Johnston will present the award.
Good afternoon. I've known Jean for close to 15 years. We first met at our church one Sunday morning as a group of us were packing our suitcases to head off to our mission trip in Honduras. The next thing I knew, a decade had passed that was filled with meetings and lunches and all kinds of activities to keep our mission moving. Many times we cried together over the joys and sadnesses that came upon those impoverished families in Honduras. Jean immersed herself into the lives and the care of the families. From standing with each child in front of a mirror as they received their new school uniforms, to the countless times of putting her own funds into the pockets of those mothers and children that didn't have enough to eat. I will never forget the year when Jean was not able to go with us on our February mission trip. We knew that all the families would miss her dearly, so we made a video message of her to show to these families. So as we all centered around the television to watch this video of Jean, one of the mothers got up out of her chair, kissed her hand, and put it on Jean's countenance on the video screen. I have seen firsthand the loving heart of Jean Ewers and the devotion to those and her unwavering love for Jesus Christ. When I look at Jean Davies Ewers, I see love. I'd like to read the prepared remarks. Jean Davies Ewers, a member of the class of 1961, has provided selfless service in the global community through her work as a leader of the Honduras Hope Mission. After retiring from a 25-year elementary school teaching career, primarily spent in the Mars area school district, she was naturally inclined to continue her legacy of empowering children and families. Through her church, Jean became aware of a mission that was heading to Honduras. Although it started out as a humanitarian and medical mission to protect and provide for orphan children in La Villa de San Francisco, Honduras, Jean got involved and helped to establish the Honduras Hope Family Mission. As the volunteer and coordinator of that program, she made annual trips to Honduras for 9 years. In addition to fundraising in the U.S., Jean worked directly with families to identify their greatest needs and address those challenges to move them toward independence. She helped families to obtain and care for school uniforms and supplies so that children could attend school, ensure families had access to clean water, and worked with women to start small businesses around food, sewing, and cosmetology. Many families were young single mothers who did not know one another. Jean brought them together for meals and worship and training in medical and life skills, creating a caring and supportive community that lasts long after the family graduates from the Hope program. Honduras Hope has inspired at least one of our students to attend a university and another to start a small water filter business, maintaining filters by helping with usage and replacing parts. Jean's fundraising has also enabled the program to hire a Honduran couple to work with the families throughout the year. In total, Jean and the program have provided critical support to more than 50 families. Although Jean no longer travels to Honduras, she has remained on the Honduras Hope Mission Board of Directors and continues to serve as a liaison between the U.S. sponsors and their Honduran families. This award is presented to her in recognition of her lifetime achievement in humanitarian efforts. It is an honor and a privilege to present Jean Davis Ewers, class of 1961, with the William E. Swigart Jr., class of 1937, Alumni Humanitarian Award by direction of the Alumni Council.
Good morning. There's a story about a woman who sent a letter to Mother Teresa. Her husband had just left her, and she was feeling depressed and useless and hopeless, and she asked if she could come and work with Mother Teresa in Calcutta. Mother Teresa said, "Find your own Calcutta, my dear." As I look back on my life and many experiences, I know there were many that were preparing me for my Calcutta. I grew up in a home with humble, giving parents. I had the good fortune to come to this wonderful college, full of warm and caring people, faculty and students, and where I met many lifelong friends, one of whom just came back today so she could be here and didn't think she could be here. I had recently retired from teaching, and my own children were on their way in the world, and I was missing my fourth graders. I loved being a part of Stephen Ministry, which is a program that walks with people through difficult times. And at the time, I was studying a book called If You Want to Walk on Water, You Have to Get Out of the Boat. And so all of these instances were preparing me for the moment that I found my passion in life. I learned of an upcoming mission trip that some people from my church and community were joining. Since 1995, a group from Bemis Point, New York, had been going to La Villa de San Francisco in southern Honduras, an extremely poor village where they were ministering within a compound to orphaned children. A new piece was being added, a medical component where they would be traveling out into the community providing medical and dental care. And I just knew I had to go. I didn't know what I could do, but I knew I had to go. In my first year, 2004, my role was to play with sweet, loving children that had beautiful, long, black hair infested with lice. What a humbling experience that was to start me off. During that trip also, a local pastor told us about a dream that he had to take the poorest of the poor in this village and do something special for them in their lives. So we all came back home, and as we were sharing our compelling stories with Bible studies, Rotaries, and a group of people, we raised enough money to take care of the first 14 families, to give them $25 worth of food to add to their meager amount that they had to feed their families. And I became the person who was able to go into the homes and meet these folks and share their stories and experience all of their highs and their lows. We took care of school uniforms, supplies, water filters, which you heard mentioned, and we had stoves that vented because everything was going into their homes, and they burned sugar cane, and the air was very bad there. These early experiences are forever ingrained in my memories. I will never forget the letter I received from a mother of 7 thanking us for the food and saying this was the first time her children did not go to bed hungry. And of the young woman who thought she had cancer because she continually had headaches. But once we fitted her with glasses that fit right, her headaches went away. And another scene embedded in my memory is of a woman dressed in tattered clothing, living in a little dirt garbage bag hut, making a fire nearby to cook. We invited her to come back with us to shower and get some clothes and food, and later, before we left that year, we found a place for her family to live. And another wonderful story, I think, is of a little boy and his parents who came. He needed heart surgery, but it was going to cost $20, which to them might have been $1,000. And such a small thing for us, but so impossible for them. I saw such overwhelming gratitude at these moments. But most of all, my role gave me the opportunity to get to know and to love these families and have the honor of watching children grow, attend school, gain employment, and to go with the family and grieve in their special way that they grieve when someone in their family dies. We kept vigil with them. Over these 14 years since my first trip, we have partnered with many generous churches, organizations, individuals, and have been able to raise funds to expand our care. And each year, we are now able to provide over-the-counter medicines, eyeglasses, canes, crutches, toothbrushes, toothpaste, mosquito netting, malaria meds, and school uniforms and books, and to supply rent and tuition assistance. The Hope families have also become an important partner. When our team arrives in February, they are waiting eager to help. They assemble the hundreds of water filters that are made there and that we purchase in Honduras for the new families and those that haven't received one in several years. They also help the 2 local mission workers that are on our staff that live there and help them prepare for our stay. Our families now understand the concept of pay it forward, and they don't think that this is a handout, and we don't want them to. We want them to know with these blessings come responsibilities. The team, made up of doctors, nurses, physical therapists, and a variety of support personnel, is now able to see close to 2,000 people each year that we go, and we go into other little towns nearby that have no medical people there. Last year, we gave out thousands of prescriptions and in some cases a year's supply of diabetes and blood pressure medicine. And we know that people have lived many years because, especially of our Dr. Potter, who said, you know, as a doctor, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, going and visiting in homes. And he's been going now for 14 years. We're able to give microloans, teach life skills, enabling them to become independent and start their own businesses. They have a little taco stand outside of church. It's very successful. Last year, we sent 3 women who conquered their fears of traveling into the capital, Tegucigalpa, taking beautician and seamstress classes and being able to have a skill now. What a confidence builder that was. And then we were so joyful when our first Hope family child graduated from the University of Honduras in education and is now teaching. Some of the people on the medical team change each year, but what doesn't change is the tireless, selfless energy and love given by each team member. What a joy and privilege it has been for me to be able to bring hope, encouragement, love, and care to hurting children and their families in this little forgotten corner of the world, my Calcutta. I'm sure each of you here today has your own story to tell. The names are different, but similar needs are everywhere. You don't need to leave home to find your Calcutta. But now you know the story of what happened when I got out of the boat and found mine. And I want to thank you for this really special honor. It's very humbling. And being able to tell the story in this place that was one of the happiest places of my life. I just still have lifelong friends here from here. Thank you. It means so much to me.